Okay, well, this has I've been dreading this moment, making this video. I just never thought that I could screw up quite so badly ever again, but here I've just outdone myself. And of course, I'm referring to this um, big red bar right here. This is gross daily P&L. So this is my P&L um, day to day. And you can see that last Thursday, implosion is a understatement. I can't even really describe to you guys quite how this happened. But that is gonna be the subject of this video. So you are gonna see how it happened. But I'm ashamed. I mean, embarrassed is actually more like the first word that comes to mind. I mean, like call myself a traitor and I'm letting this happen. I don't even know, but it's embarrassing. But I'm gonna try to smile through it. I mean, it's honestly kind of funny, honestly, when you're gonna look at these trades here and. So the first thing that I'm going to mention about this loss, and I want to show you guys the calendar view. So like here's what June was looking like, pretty mediocre even before this loss. But I mean, you look at some of these other numbers, and then you look at this, and it's just insane. I don't know why. I'm just looking at this for the first time. This is wrong. This is so wrong. This I don't know what's going on here, but trust me that at no point during this day was I green. Um, it really only got worse and worse. So I'm gonna walk you through exactly how these numbers got so red. And yeah, so let's talk about it. But if I go back to June, as I was saying, none of these numbers are remotely close to this one. In fact, my biggest ever drawdown before this was, well, my biggest ever drawdown was actually about the same, if you can believe it. But my biggest ever single day loss was like a little more than half of this number. So I've got quite the hole to dig myself out of. You can see on Friday I came back and took a couple trades and put in a green day, but I mean that's just a mere 1/15th of this loss. So I mean, oh yeah, it's gonna be a long road ahead for sure. But I'm trying to smile through it, and I'm gonna basically think of this like a challenge, like how quickly can I make the 7,500 back? I guess that's not the best way to think about it. I'm not trying to make it all back in one day, but I am curious how fast I can make it back, and there's a couple reasons for that. So the first thing I want to say about this loss is that this is really the first day, pretty much the first day, maybe the second day. I don't even think the trades in here. Yeah, so this is the first day I've imported. This is the first day I traded futures futures contracts. So you can see EQM. Um, so these are futures contracts that I traded. So very volatile and they have big swings. And if you're not trading the micros, which I wasn't, I was trading the minis, which have massive swings. It's very easy to quickly be up or down 1,000 very fast. And I happen to get myself in trouble. So I have the trades pulled up right here. And so you can see this is the day that I was trading. And this is the chart that I had pulled up, but I want to mention a couple of things. First of all, last week I was in Hawaii, and to basically, if you want to wake up for market open, you're waking up at 3:30 in the morning. Literally, you can go back to my last video, and I said, "Hey guys, I'm going on vacation. I won't be trading." That was a lie. I literally can't peel myself away from the trading screen. So it's embarrassing because I was on vacation, and so I shouldn't have even been trading at all. But I was, and I let this happen. So you can just imagine how upset I was after this loss. Not only, biggest loss day ever, but I'm on vacation. Why am I even trading it in the first place? I should just be taking, you know, just stepping away. You can see that on excuse me. Here on Monday I didn't trade. Tuesday I traded, made money. Wednesday I traded, made a little bit of money. Uh, and so I thought, I guess I woke up on Thursday. I woke up late. I mean, you can see my first trade here is at 7:50, so that would be 4:50 Hawaii time, where the market opens at 3:30. So I was already late. Anyway, so let me show you guys kind of what let me like detach this and make a new chart. I'll put that to the side for a second. Let me just show you guys how unfortunate this really is. So if I pull up ES for basically, I mean it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost like a week we've been trading in this really tight zone. And you can see I marked out this pennant. I had all this marked out. Um and it was pretty easy to think. So on Friday we're supposed to get the CPI number. This was Friday here. But what's interesting is that actually we broke out, the market kind of fooled everyone and broke out on Thursday before the number. It made sense that the market's going to trade in a tight range before that number comes out. So I didn't anticipate us to break out of this kind of coiling formation until Friday. And so, of course, the disaster day was on Thursday. So I totally got, stuck in this. So if I go to a 1 hour chart, you can see the range we're kind of trading in. There's this pennant going on, but there's also this level here. And so a lot of those trades that I had on this, let me do show trades here. So this was, yes, I'll flip to NQ. So the trades I had on this is the day we're looking at here. I was trying to get long. I did have one short right here, very briefly, but I quickly dismissed that, got out of that. Then I flipped long here at the top of this candle, came down. We popped back up. I was green on this trade for a little bit, looking for the bounce off this support level, right? This blue line has been support for a week or so. I mean, not exactly, right? We've traded down here to the bottom of the pennant and then bounced, but you can see here we're bouncing. So if I flip to a 30-minute, you can see generally speaking, this blue line has held up pretty darn well over the last week. So I'm getting long in front of that. And then I, you know, totally big mistake. I did not cut this as we started to come down lower. I waited to cut it down here. So you can see I just took a huge loss on those contracts. Embarrassingly large loss on those contracts. You can see I got long one, and then I added, as we were coming up, I added, and then briefly we were up on this trade before it came all the way down, and then I just let this loss get way too big. Um, so normally this wouldn't have even been a bad trade, other than the fact that I was long two NQ contracts, which, like, I'm new to futures trading, and it's so volatile. You are so quickly up or down 1,000 just with one contract, and then with two contracts, it's just like I'm just obviously just way out of my depth, and clearly some revenge trading going on, trying to make back these losses. Um, but I want to say briefly, I'm not going to dwell on this, but I want to say quickly, if we had bounced off this zone and we had started to rip back up toward these highs, I'd be green. I would have been green on this day, which is crazy to think about, right? So if this support, which had held up so well, had held up just one more time and we'd started to target kind of the high of the range, which is, up here, 12,800, I probably wouldn't have held that far. But I just want to think about for a second that if this support had held up and we started to bounce, I probably would have been green on the day. But instead, I cut the loss way down here as we finally. I was kind of like, it was kind of like an "Are you kidding me?" moment because we bounced so many times, and then of course I'm getting long in finally we're breaking out, right? So then a couple more trades here, trying to basically catch a bounce, but that's not happening. So I got long. I don't even know. I got to go back to a 5 minute. Um, So you can see here, I got out of, wait, what? Let me see what is going on here. So I think I got long here, out here, short here, out here, long here, out here, long out, and then long out. But then I had trades on ES. These were really bad too. So It's actually the case that for a while I was actually long two NQ contracts through this drop, and I added an ES contract as well. So it was just bad. So here I added an ES contract, and at this one at least I cut not quickly, but at least I got out of it because just look at how far it dropped another 40, 50, 60 points, 50 points from there. So here I had one last kind of final hurrah where I just added like another $1,500 loss on like a 10-point drop in two contracts on ES or something like that. I don't know. It was bad. I added like another $1,000 of loss like right there. So by the end of it, I was just totally like obviously flustered and like just you know, whatever. So here, this attempt getting long at 40.80, like once again, that's that zone where the ES had seen big moves to the upside bouncing off that spot. So do I regret taking a long into this support? Like, look how clean this support is. Like, no, I don't really regret getting long at 40.80 right in front of that support. Um, that was the idea. I wasn't quite flustered at that point yet, and then I cut it as it broke down. So in this trade right here, I don't really regret it. Same with the NQ being long in front of that support. I thought it was very high probability that we bounce at that spot, but of course we didn't. This trade here, this is totally a mess up. This is totally really no excuse for this. This is emotional trading. This is really bad. And so that was bad for sure. And flipping back to NQ for a minute, once again, being long in this area, I don't think is very bad. I think it's fine. I just waited too long to cut it right here. It should have been an instant cut as we dropped lower right here. So I should have saved, 40 points on that. So definitely there were spots where I could have been a lot better. And then down in here, what am I even doing? At this point, it's over. There's going to be no bounce. A lot of times in the afternoon, kind of right before the close, you do see sort of a bounce. So that's kind of what I was trying to capture, but that was wishful thinking, and it did not play out that way. Then you can see on Friday, I did not touch futures at all in NQ or ES. I just went in for a couple stock trades on COGT. I had a quick trade on, and I'll just show you this very briefly. So COGT, I had a losing trade on here, and then I had a winning trade on this little move to be green on that one, and then RDBX. This one I was watching right as I woke up. I saw it here at 1080, didn't buy it. It had this huge move up to 1340, and then I caught kind of a secondary move here with 500 shares, 1342, and getting out some of it up here at 1420. So a bit of a green trade there, but nothing to shout home about. So just a drop in the bucket in the face of these catastrophic um, futures losses that I just can't even. So it was basically like, welcome to futures. You just lost $7,500, your biggest loss ever. Um, Now, again, I want to put things in a bit of perspective. If I flip back over to Trader View here, recent, I'm still up in the last 30 days. I mean, that's pretty. I saw that and I was like, wow, I'm still up 2.5 grand from 30 days ago. Hmm, not bad. I mean, not zero, not red with this one loss. But I think if you are someone that has had a big loss recently, obviously like I have, a really good way to think about this and a good way to deal with this, and I'm so used to dealing with it now. This is the biggest loss I've ever had, but I do feel to a degree. I mean, obviously I was very upset when this happened, but to a degree I feel like I'm now pretty good at dealing with big losses. And the only way is to just you either give up and I'm just going to stop trading forever, which is not going to happen. So I'm going to keep trading. I'm going to trade my way out of this. I have a 100%, you know, I've every drawdown I've ever had, I've come back and reached all-time highs. So this is the biggest one I've ever had, but I'm still up on the last 30 days. I'm still up on the year. This is one day. This happened in one day, right? This isn't, so that's kind of the good news is, yeah, it sucks to lose so much in one day, but think about it. This was one day where I was on vacation on a laptop, not at my normal setup, not seeing things clearly. Shouldn't have been trading. Got emotionally fueled. About 40% of the loss on this day, I would say about 40% of this loss was emotionally fueled. Shouldn't have happened. Easily could have just stopped. I know because I saw my P&L. I was down 2,000 on the day. I was down 2,000 on the day, and I could have stopped trading. I was gonna stop trading, and I didn't. I was down 5,800. Could have stopped trading. Didn't. Took that last trade on ES. You know, got worse. So what I didn't show you was the losses I took on equity that day, because I did take losses on equity on Tesla on Thursday. I lost on Thursday. Where can I see? Yeah, here. This I lost about five. Oh, I think I lost about 600 here, and all that. So it's the same day as the futures trading. In fact, this happened even before. And then what was the other stock I lost on? HUSA. Right here, looking for this break. Didn't get it. Got stubborn. Didn't really cut the losses. $500 loss right here. $500 right here of loss. $500, $600 on Tesla, and then all the equities trading. So anyway, all in all, $7,500 of red on the day. So, but it's just one day, right? So stack that up against, say, I lost 7,500 over a week of trading, or 2 weeks of trading, or 3 weeks of trading, or a month of trading, and you lose 7,500. To me, that's a lot worse, because not only have you lost a month of time, if you lost 7,500 in a month, then that's a whole month of time that you didn't spend making money, right? So it took you longer to lose. I'd rather lose this much in one day and then feel confident about my ability to make money the next day, which I did. Made money on Friday, right? So it's not to say that tomorrow on Monday I'm not going to have a red day, but I will say that I feel like my trading here was terrible, but it wasn't like a big red flag in terms of my you know my ability to you know see setups and trade them, and execute on setups and trade levels. And I got long right here at prior support, and it didn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work, right? When you coil this much in a certain range, eventually you're gonna break out of it, and the breakout is gonna be big. Could have done a better job getting out of the way faster, but I wanted to give it a chance to bounce, right? False breakouts to the upside can be powerful. So, yes, I made a lot of mistakes on this day, but again, a lot of this numerical, massive, biggest loss ever. Why? It's because I'm trading futures, which are incredibly volatile. I had two contracts. Those were a mistake. At certain points, I was trading two contracts. Definitely that was a mistake. So, maybe, again, the loss shouldn't have been quite as big. Another 40% emotional. So, yes, the loss should not have been as big. I should have walked away probably after my first couple losses on the Tesla and HUSA and whatever. But even with as big a loss as this is, I still actually kind of feel confident about my ability to trade futures, because all it is trading the levels. And futures, I've been watching futures for multiple years, and I only just now have started trading them. But when I trade equity every morning, I'm looking at the futures and I'm trading the equity as a vehicle for the futures. That's what I'm doing. So I thought, why not just trade the equity straight, or trade the futures straight out? So now that's what I'm doing. And yes, I took a very unfortunate big setback, biggest setback ever on Thursday. But here's the kicker. I'm now in a position where my green days are bigger than they were last year. And I anticipate I don't have enough futures trading to go off of yet. It's only been like 1 or 2 days and I'm already down 7,500. But with the swings that futures can have, it's definitely stepping up the size, because you can, like I said, you're up or down 1,000 very quickly when you trade the futures contracts. They move fast. Your P&L moves fast, and has big swings. So if I can trade based off levels, trade smart, if I can, see the setups, buy and support, sell at resistance, very simple trading. This is the type of stuff that this is my kind of my bread and butter, really. I mean, the bread and butter of trading. So if I can just execute according to that, I feel like my winners might be a lot bigger than I'm used to. So my winners might start to get bigger. That's what this big loss tells me, is that there's potential for big moves. So again, my losers will probably be bigger too on average. I don't think they'll be quite this big. I hope not. But all this is to say is that I think it might not take me as long to dig out of this hole as it has as it would have taken me maybe last year where I was trading equity and not trading as aggressively. Um, what would happen last year is I would have a big loss from taking too big size, adding size to losing trades, right? Doubling down. I did that a little bit here, but not, trust me, not quite as bad as last year where I would just add on something going down, 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 down. And so I dig a huge hole, right? Have a big loss, not as big as this, right? But like 2,000, 3,000, $4,000 loss. But then it would take me a month at least to get that back. Why? Because then I'd go into the markets the next day and take like, 100 shares at most of a stock like Nvidia, uh, and do little, 5-10 minute trades and make on average like 100 or $200 a day, 400, 500 maybe. But 400, 500 is a like pretty decent day for me last year. This year I feel like it's different. This year I feel like 500 is kind of like a it's a good green day. But like a good green day is like 1,000, right? A great green day is like 1,500, 2,000. So I feel like my ability to step up to the plate where I'm likely to make money is a lot better this year. Last year, I was very bad at seeing I would see good setups and then take small size. This year, I've realized that good setups deserve good size and deserve big size. So size up to things that look good. I'm better at that now. And then cut losses quickly when you're wrong. That's easier said than done. Trust me. Way easier said than done. But anyway, this is really bad. So I had to make this video. I had to do it because my whole thing has been transparency and it sucks. It sucks. I hate making this video. Like I hate this so much because the loss sucks, but then to make it public, boy, that burns bad because I don't but I said this in my Discord channel. All right, this is very important. I have never advertised myself or claimed to be a a trader that you should, you know, what's the word? Emulize or whatever. You should not copy me or look at what I'm doing and think I can do that. Or I never claim that I am a good or successful trader. I say I think I am. But I'm not saying I am. I just, days like this, surely they definitely make me question my abilities as a trader. And then if I go to, my like all-time chart, I mean, look what I've just done to it. Look at that. That's horrible. Look, this is my all-time cumulative drawdown. Look at that. So yeah, am I a good trader? Like, I don't know, man. I guess not. Look at that. You know? But all I can say is that I just have to keep trudging forward. And anyway, thanks for watching this video. I had to share this because my whole thing's been about transparency, whatever. But again, I do not claim to be some great trader. This is more just a journaling. This channel has always just been an adventure, a journal for me to talk things through and hope that, it can be helpful to others as well and kind of sharing my own trading journey, whatever. But all I can say is that I hope that this chart, you can imagine this blue line going right back up and then to new highs. That is the best case scenario, but we'll see if that happens. Maybe I'm just going to keep digging a hole and maybe this is the end, maybe I just go back down to this zero or whatever, but gotta hope for the best. And so I'll be back trading tomorrow, and my plan is to come to the table and watch the markets and try to not take trades, right? When I see something, that's kind of what I got enlightened on my vacation. I was realizing because I woke up the first day and I was like, I'm gonna like I don't know if I'm gonna trade. I'm just gonna sit here and like watch the markets. And then I saw a setup that I liked, and I was like, oh, it's really hard for me to not take this trade right now. And then I took the trade and I did well. So like my whole mindset was kind of different because normally I wake up and I'm like, I know I'm gonna trade, right? I know I'm going to trade. But if you can come to the table and say, I don't know if I'm going to trade, right? Don't treat the markets as you're not showing up just to put a coin in the slot machine. You're showing up to see if there's something you like, right? You show up to the market, it's like uh what's a good analogy? It's like a vending machine. You don't know what sodas are offered, but if there's one you like, you take a stab at. Okay, this is a terrible analogy, but you know what I'm trying to say. You don't have to take a trade. So when you have the mindset of I don't know if I'm going to take a trade or not, that is when you will most clearly see the setups because you'll see the market for what it is. And when you see a setup that you just can't resist, you know it's got to be pretty powerful. It's got to be pretty good for you to abandon your, your not wanting to take a trade. Anyway, all right. So I had to share this. I hope this was a bit of, a longer video, but I hope it was, I don't know, I don't know if it was helpful at all. Maybe it wasn't, but there you have it. My biggest loss ever in a single day. And that's the story of how it happened. And hopefully, if you're watching this later on, you'll be able to see did uh, did I make it back? Am I back at all-time highs yet? I don't know. We'll see. But now I'm starting the rebuilding process from this big loss. I've got to rebuild. So we'll see how long it takes me. And tomorrow will be day 2 of the rebuild. On day 1, that was last Friday, I made about 500. So day 2 tomorrow, got about 6,900 back to make back to get back to all-time highs in my account or in my day trading journey. So, all right. Thanks again, guys. And please hit the like button. One like equals one prayer for me in my account. Obviously, I'm very privileged to be able to even lose this much money and still have an account to trade. I feel very lucky. But guys, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll let you know how it goes tomorrow. Join the Discord. I post daily updates in there of my results. So stay tuned. All right, bye bye.